The hand of the king falls ill after supper. At first it looks like nothing more than a sickness, a pain in the stomach, weakness, cramping. Then the days pass, and he only gets worse. He wastes away in his bed while maesters argue over what might save him. And then Jon Arryn dies. No one sees a blade, no one suspects an assassin. There is no strange taste in his wine, no dark stain in the cup, no obvious sign that murder ever happened, because the weapon was almost invisible. It was the Tears of Lys. So what is the Tears of Lys? Welcome to Westeros Within, where we journey into forgotten ages, hidden legends, and ancient mysteries. Tears of Lys is a poison so subtle it barely resembles murder at all. It is clear, almost like water. It can be poured into wine, water, or any other drink without changing the taste or smell in any obvious way. Once swallowed, it works slowly. The victim weakens over time. The stomach and bowels turn against the body. Strength drains away. Pain grows worse. What follows looks so much like a natural illness that even skilled healers may fail to recognize what they are really seeing. That is what makes the poison so terrifying. It does not need speed. It does not need spectacle. It only needs doubt. A man can die of the Tears of Lys, surrounded by servants, guarded by knights, watched over by maesters, and never once be recognized as poisoned. In a world like Westeros, that makes it one of the most dangerous weapons imaginable. The poison takes its name from Lys, one of the free cities across the narrow sea. Lys is famous for beauty. Pale marble, pleasure houses, gardens, perfumes, music, and the lingering look of old Valyria in the features of its people. It sounds like paradise from a distance. But the city has another reputation too. The Lyseni are known for subtlety, intrigue, pleasure on the surface and calculation underneath. And among their most feared talents is poison. That is why the name matters. Tears of Lys sounds gentle, elegant, almost romantic. But that is exactly the deception. The poison carries the character of the city that made it famous. Beautiful in name, invisible in use, deadly in effect. It is not a soldier's weapon. It is a courtier's weapon. A poison for those who want a man dead without ever seeming to wish him harm. When Jon Arryn lay dying in King's Landing, one man seems to have understood the truth before almost anyone else. Varys. The spider later told Eddard Stark exactly what had killed the previous hand. He named the poison. He described how it worked. He even said that he had urged Jon Arryn to use a food taster, and that Jon had refused because he found the idea undignified. That detail matters. Varys was born in Lys. He would have grown up in a world where poison was not an exotic rumor, but part of political reality. He recognized the shape of the death, while others still saw only sickness. And yet Jon Arryn died anyway. That is what makes this episode darker than it first appears. The Tears of Lys is not only a poison, it is a test of whether knowledge, suspicion, and intelligence can move fast enough to stop what has already entered the cup. In Jon Arryn's case, they could not, or did not. And poison alone was not the whole story. Jon Arryn's maester, Colemon, had been treating him with purges, trying to force the sickness out before it finished its work. Crude and unpleasant, yes, but perhaps the only response that still held any chance at all. Then Grand Maester Pycelle intervened. Colemon was dismissed. Milk of the poppy was given instead. Comfort over resistance, sleep over struggle. Later, Pycelle admitted enough to make the truth even uglier. He had suspected what the queen wanted. He had chosen not to stand in the way. That means the Tears of Lys did not act alone. It killed through the cup, but it was helped along by fear, politics, and obedience. Jon Arryn was not only poisoned, he was abandoned. One man's quiet death should have ended with mourning and succession. Instead, it opened the door to catastrophe. Lysa Arryn had placed the poison in her husband's wine. But the poison itself was only the first move. On Peter Baelish's instructions, she then sent a letter to her sister Catelyn, blaming the Lannisters for Jon Arryn's death. That lie changed the course of the realm. Ned Stark rode south to uncover the truth. He found more than he expected. Secrets about the royal children, treachery in the court, a kingdom already rotting beneath its gold and silk. And when the moment came, Littlefinger betrayed him too. The War of the Five Kings followed. Great houses fell. Armies marched. Tens of thousands died. All because a clear liquid passed unnoticed in a single cup. That may be the deepest truth about the Tears of Lys. It is the perfect poison for Westeros. Not because it is the fastest, because it is the hardest to name. A sword makes an enemy obvious. Wildfire announces itself in green flame. The strangler turns a face purple before the whole court. But the Tears of Lys lets murder wear the mask of fate. Old age, weakness, bad luck, a wasting illness. The sort of death people accept because the body does, in fact, fail sometimes. And that means we can never know how many times it may have been used before. How many convenient deaths passed as sickness. How many lords died in bed while the real killer had already washed the cup and walked away. That is why the Tears of Lys is so frightening. Not because it kills loudly, because it disappears into ordinary life. And in a court built on secrets, that may be the deadliest quality of all. If you want more secrets uncovered from the world of Westeros, subscribe and stay with us. And tell me in the comments, how many deaths in Westeros do you think were called illness, when the real killer was already in the cup? Westeros within. The stories they never told you.